On April 28th, 2025, something unexpected happened. In the middle of a sunny afternoon, Spain and its neighbor Portugal suddenly went dark. Traffic lights failed, internet vanished, trains stopped. For millions, power simply disappeared. This was no ordinary outage. It was one of the largest blackouts in Iberian history, and it exposed a deep flaw in one of Europe's most ambitious green energy transitions. So, what exactly went wrong? And is Spain's push toward renewables and away from nuclear happening too fast? It started with a sudden generation drop around 2.2 gigawatts across southern Spain. That's enough power to run almost 1 million homes. Within seconds, the grid frequency crashed below critical levels. Load-shedding systems kicked in, trying to protect what was left. But then came the knockout blow. Spain is a green energy powerhouse. In 2024, renewables made up over half of the country's electricity. Solar and wind alone produced more than 45%. That's impressive, but there's a catch. Wind and solar don't spin turbines the way coal or nuclear plants do. That means they don't provide inertia, the resistance that keeps a grid stable when something goes wrong. Without that inertia, your grid is basically walking a tightrope. And here's another problem. Spain is isolated. Only about 3% of its electricity links up with the rest of Europe. The EU recommends 15% interconnection. That way, countries can support each other during energy shortages. But Spain? Spain's pretty much on its own. So when something fails inside the country, like it did in April, there's no European neighbor to bail them out. You might ask, what about batteries, or gas plants, or hydropower? Well, Spain is working on it. But right now, the country only has about 3 gigawatts of storage. The goal is 20 by 2030, but we're not there yet. So when solar output dropped and wind slowed down, there was no rapid response backup to keep the system alive. And then there's nuclear power. Spain still gets about 20% of its electricity from nuclear power, but plans have been in motion for years to shut all those reactors down, starting in 2027 and finishing by 2035. After the blackout, nuclear supporters were quick to point out these plants provide stable, consistent power. They don't care if the sun's out or the wind is blowing. They just work. The Spanish government? They're now rethinking everything. Parliament has paused the nuclear phase-out to reassess what role it might still need to play. The truth is, Spain's blackout wasn't caused by too much solar or wind. It was caused by not enough planning around it. For years, Spain invested heavily in renewables, but grid upgrades lagged behind. Batteries, smart grids, and stronger connections with Europe? Still under construction. The EU estimates it needs over €1 trillion to modernize Europe's grid by 2040. And Spain, like many others, is realizing just how expensive, but essential, that investment really is. So what now? Here's what experts are calling for. First, grid modernization. That means investing in stronger infrastructure, smarter technology, and grid-stabilizing tools like synchronous condensers, which help mimic the inertia we lost when we moved away from traditional power plants. Second, massive battery deployment, not just a few pilot projects, but full-scale battery systems, especially paired directly with solar farms. That way, excess power can be stored when it's sunny and used when it's not. Third, more interconnection. Spain has to link up more with the European grid. Right now, it's too isolated. With stronger cross-border links, help can come faster when the system's under stress. And finally, rethinking nuclear, not as an enemy of renewables, but as a reliable partner, a source of stable, carbon-free electricity that can support the transition until we've fully built the grid of the future. Spain is a leader in renewables. But the April blackout showed that a clean energy future needs more than wind and sun. It needs storage, it needs strong grids, and maybe, just maybe, it needs to keep some of its nuclear power too. Thanks for watching. If you found this helpful, give it a like and subscribe. And let me know in the comments, should Spain keep its nuclear reactors running or double down on renewables with smarter grids?